So President Biden in a news conference confirmed that he painted a tree blue. No, that's wrong. Oh, that was it. He took out an Al-Qaeda terrorist. What he's actually doing at the moment is trying to bring down the CIA's financial obligations, you know, obviously pension schemes and that kind of thing. Because what, I'm taking the piss by the way, what Biden and former presidents and many other spokesmen for the United States military-industrial complex, the war machine, call it what you want, have not mentioned that Al-Qaeda was funded and supplied for many, many years by CIA, Black Ops, that kind of stuff. I mean, a lot of people wonder how CIA made their money. Well, the CIA helped to flood America with drugs. They would take guns out to different places. I mean, you've only got to look back at the Arms Contra affair with Colonel Oliver North, and he was part of the system that helped send weapons and financing to the military group that they were funding at the time. They're the Contras. Was it Contras? Contra? I can't fucking pronounce it. Anyway, back then, and it got busted. And if you have a look at things like Air America, they were the freighters for that, and they were using old military pilots. You've only got to look at Tom Cruise's character, Barry Seal. He was the one that helped get drugs in and guns out. Sorry, drugs out, guns in. I knew what I meant. But yeah, the machine, the enemy, Al-Qaeda, the ones that allegedly blew up or flew 2 planes into the Twin Towers and the Pentagon and a field in Pennsylvania, I believe it was. These people that live in a cave in the middle of nowhere, right, that cannot be found by the biggest military-industrial fucking machine there is on the planet, right, and who just through a telephone and a few other simple means like that could literally bypass the military intelligence system and do the biggest strike to America on its own soil that there ever has been. And if you could believe that, then I can also tell you that pigs fly. But it was amazing that that particular attack on America, this bloke's a nutter, fuck me, overtaking it on a motorbike in the rain, straight into the oncoming 4x4. Fucking wanker. So anyway, it just goes to show you that when you need a war, what you have to do is attack your own people. And I truly believe that that was the case. I also believed in 7/7 because we needed to join them in their war against terror that hadn't actually been established when they actually came out with a plan about this war against terror. It's amazing, it really is. You know, in the 90s, we're going to have a war on terror. What terror? Well, there will be some terror. Oh, if you're sure, kind of thing. So, They wanted to go into 10 different countries at the time, and they named which countries they were and all the rest of it. And there's been whistleblowers, and here's another lunatic motorcyclist, numerous other people that have actually come out and said that this was the case, and they knew all about it, and it was an open secret. Amazing, really, isn't it? An open fucking secret. However, you and I all paid the price for it because the war on terror brought about many more draconian measures to watch what we do and where we go, how we act, what circles we to be found in. All of our history needs to be spied upon, and all of this came about because of the war on terror, and they were looking at clamping down on terror by spying on our own people. It's quite amazing, really. And since then, all those laws are now in place. It's amazing, actually, that when the Twin Towers got hit, it was the very same day that they just had a change of management who was looking after security within the airspace of America, and that many of its aircraft that would have been sat on a runway ready waiting to go were doing training the other side of the country. So you've got a bloke who's got no experience in the position that he's in, been put in there. You've got all of your aircraft either in servicing or being, like, with their pilots being trained the other end of the country. Coincidental? The guy that owned the World Trade Center, a guy that spun more properties and made billions out of it, right, in his time, decides to buy 2 dilapidated buildings. Now, I know that might sound hard for you to believe, but these buildings needed stupid amounts of work. They were hot in the summer, cold in the winter. They were full of asbestos, and each floor, bearing in mind how many floors there were, would have cost between $150,000 and $300,000 a piece to take all that asbestos out of it. Basically bought a lemon. And yet, he manages to insure both of them for acts of terrorism and increases what the value is through the insurance company. And the insurance companies had to bind together because they didn't have the ability to cover the cost of that should anything happen. But no, they all bound together. And then he's always in that building at the time that those planes struck, at the floor that those planes struck, having meetings with his people. But just the one time that he decides that he needs a dermatology meeting because his missus has accidentally booked it for him, then he couldn't be there. Nothing to see here. And then they hit Building 7. Building 7 that had a lot of the details in it, because all of its servers were in there, about the loss of the... How many trillion was that went missing? And that came out, the truth about that came out the day before 9/11, I think it was. And everybody was out in arms for 24 hours, and all of a sudden, Bin Laden and his cronies managed to take off this attack, right? But going back to the point of it, the people that they're blaming for all of this trouble, all these acts of terrorism, are actually state-sponsored and state-trained by intelligence, the CIA. Don't you find that amazing? I do. And yet, we're supposed to applaud when they take them out. I mean, that's the other thing. So they took Bin Laden out. Really? Now, from what I can gather, Bin Laden had been ill for so long, he was about as much a threat to us as, I don't know, a wasp bit in the windscreen. As long as it don't come in. No. And the other thing is, immediately they take him away and bury him at sea. Claiming that would have been his religious need and they didn't want to offend other Islamic people. Really? You bombed the shit out of their country for years on end and caused the problem that we're now facing, i.e. the mass movement of migrants across the country and heading towards the west, predominantly Europe, okay, because of your destruction of the Middle East. And why did you do that? Oh, well, there were some people that decided they wanted to trade in anything else but the petrodollar, and you couldn't have that. And here we have it again. We now have Russia that decides they want to trade in the ruble. Well, this is a massive problem to America. So what do? Phony war, and voila, here we are. Now I could go in more detail, but obviously people lose interest in videos very quickly, so you've got to make this brief. But I just found it sort of almost amusing but frustrating all at the same time that the average Joe, when they listen to Joe, right, if they can listen to Joe, right, because unfortunately the poor bloke's mentally ill through, well, I don't know, old age or whatever, and I struggle to watch him, I really do. And I also think it's an act of cruelty putting a bloke that ill up on stage. However, I struggle with my moral compass with him, because as much as I don't like to see a mentally ill guy used and abused like that, when I know exactly how much sick, twisted and ill stuff he's done in his history, I kind of am a bit stuck as to how to feel about that. There you go. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying the content. Please share it. Don't forget, tick the bell. It makes a difference. Right, well, I'm going to get on with my slightly moist today. Back and forth, back and forth. I hope you're having a good day. I've got one to come about Nicola Sturgeon and the bird that said that she's an attention seeker. Come on then, mate. For fuck's sake, this would be easier if you actually looked where you would go, mate. Cheers. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, anyway, see you in a bit.